All right, folks. Season 2 of Reacher is a wrap. Let's talk about it. Did it deliver? Did it stick the landing? What do you think about it? What do you think about it compared to season 1? Are you eager for a season 3? And I wanted to just talk this through. I was actually enjoying Reacher. Matt had a great comment. I think it was on my last video about how the worst elements of Reacher are so good. It's kind of like when you buy a house and it's nice. It has everything you want. It has all the things you need in a great house. All the amenities are there. You have no complaints. You have no remorse. And then there's an old rusted out shed in the backyard, and you're like, all right, fine. So that's what kind of happens with this show. Its worst moments are like these inconveniences and sluggish things. Maybe there is some, Mary Sue female elements and things like that. But let's face it, Reacher has an awful lot of plot armor as well. But the show is never at his expense. Reacher is still the stud and star of the show, even when, Dixon and Neely are doing their thing, right? But I think this is a great way to wrap the show up and give you a taste of what you would want to see next. So recap goes pretty well. Gives you an idea of that there's basically some sort of arms transfer for this weapon that we do finally get to see. And here he walks right into harm's way, where um, they've been kidnapped. So you have Dixon and Donahue being tortured, and then he just starts in. They try to attack him, and what are you going to do? He doesn't want to sit down, and then they basically shoot Donahue, and then they basically. I want to show that shot because this was great. Um, this it was Neely's outside. Okay, so let me turn this audio off. Deal with that nonsense. Because we have to have our cut. Look at so when he does that, he's almost like exhausted. Like it takes he throws his entire body in it, and it doesn't even make like he just bounces right back. I mean, sure he's getting cuts and bruises or whatever. I thought this was a great element in the story that gets lost in most shows because they sort of like effortlessly let 100-pound women beat up big giant men, and even men. They have men that don't stand a chance to get like this behemoth of a human that Alan Ritchson is Reacher. This is crazy. So it just kind of progresses, and it's just like exposition, story, monologuing, right? To quote The Incredibles, and then Neely outside, giving Neely the time she needs to make her move. And what they do is they're going to put them on the copter to give them the copter drop, and they're going to move things around. Reacher has hidden his little handcuff key right in the boot. So that's what that shot is. So all of this works pretty well. Really enjoyed all of that. There's the handcuff key. And then outside, she's making her move to do the shots because she's pretending to be one of those teens that were set up in a previous episode. And then we have the shootout. There was one quick little resolution. Where did it go? Is it the drawer scene? I gotta find the one shot because I want to make sure we understand what happened to Swan. I thought was brilliant. There's a jar and it has like his eye and stuff. So like what they needed to make it seem like Swan was alive this whole time and stuff was explained. And I gotta be honest, I'm assuming all that's in the novel. It was super good. It delivered on every level. It met my expectations and kind of exceeded it a little bit. So I have to be honest, I liked it. The shootout goes bonkers. The fighting's bonkers, and they put them on the helicopter, so they got to figure out how to get on this copter. So I got to be honest. 12 minutes in, and more stuff has happened in this 10. Well, let's say 11 minutes because of the credits. In this 11 minutes than 3 or 4 episodes of other shows. That's how action packed this finale is. That's how well written this show is. It is the embodiment of like 90s action fun with a little bit of a tone down, PG-13. Well, I guess I don't know. It'd be PG-13, right? I don't think it would be an R-rated thing. Again, the stunt work and stuff for a TV show like this, I thought was fantastic. This gave me everything I wanted. And there you go. Here's what I want to say. there are moments where every character gets to be heroic, right? So Neely's taking shots. Um, Donahue has a little moment where he's throwing his body in the middle of the conflict. Dixon, of course, and but he's still the star of the show. He's still the one doing the beatdowns. He's still the one doing everything. Um, this this hanging off the edge scene got a little bit ridiculous with this other guy because of how Dixon is involved with this shot, and basically Reacher is holding with one arm, which would be like, I mean, I know he's supposed to be strong, but that was probably the closest thing to like just absurdity that there was. But yes, it'll fine. It'll work for me. And that was the shot because they throw him over and they give you the money shot, like dead body shot. So now you got to get to the arms transfer. So here's our guy. Now, I will say, if there's a biggest negative of the show, it's like, I still don't really care about this guy. I still don't feel that much of a threat. He even says in this line, he's the middleman, right? There's this like weird morality play of I'm this guy. You know, the idea of getting the weapons and the person pulling the trigger is the morality part I'm not even comfortable doing. And I'm like, huh, you kind of even soften the blow on your villain a little bit. So I thought that was a bit of an odd choice, and some people I think may not have liked it much. And then basically just do all four of them open fire on him. Then you have the copter pilot and the scientist, and they kind of let them go and get on the chopper, and then they shoot the missile with a tech. You see it blows past the chopper, and then hits it, and you have your money shot explosion. Real quick, wait for it. And then it kind of flies back, and you see that's the tech that we're trying to do. So you really can't miss. Was the whole point? Homeland Security shows up. They got the whole big rundown, and that's where they that's how it wraps up. Which, by the way, is it me or does this guy look like a weird version of a Ben Shapiro? Very strange. Ooh, it was distracting. All right, so then you have Homeland, and so it was like, I guess it was the feds are there first. I'm not sure who's who, but the Homeland Security is going to come in, take control. And then they have this suitcase, which is where all the $65 million are in this suitcase. So I guess I would say I'm a little, did I miss a little bit here? I don't know that I care too much, but I'm like, where are all the weapons? And why would I trust anyone having this thing? But I think the scientists would be needed. I don't know. It feels like it's still a threat that didn't really get totally neutralized. So they have a conversation about how Reacher needed to decide what to do with the money. They just kept the $65 million. And then you have sort of a montage of everyone that's been impacted. The widow and the son. This is the brother of the cop Russo who died. Then they cut to an animal shelter with the one with the dog. Just kind of keeps going through all the things. Her dad is there getting home health care. And they're around the fire, and it's just more bonding. So what I think that season 2 does really well. Season 1 was like about Reacher. Let's set up Reacher. Let's give you a backstory, his childhood. How did he get to be who he is? Those kinds of things. I think he's a more heroic, moral protagonist. Season 2 become more gritty and darker of his backstory with the team and the military, how they were betrayed by the military, and now his people are getting picked off. Why their reputations are being called into question, which is very offensive to him and his team. Those kind of elements, I think, is what sets this season apart. I think that's why I think a lot of people don't like this season because they don't want to really let the women be strong. But it's never, in my opinion, is it a little over top? Maybe, but they also get hurt. Did you see Dixon's face? I mean, she's a mess, right? So they're a mess. It's not like she came out of harm, without harm's way. Um, Anyway, so this is how all this plays out around the campfire. And they have their conversation about everything he's going to do with the money, and he comes clean too because he tells O'Donohue that your kids are never going to do without money. He set up accounts for the kids so they have private school, college, whatever. He doesn't have to work. He can choose his crappy job or job whatever. Dixon set her up like an agency so she can work for herself. Same thing with Neely. So what I liked about all that was it sets up the fact that they can all come back. They gave them resolutions that didn't lock them into never being part of the show again. They could easily just be part of season 3 again, or however the story, whichever book or books they're going to choose from. So that's kind of how that played out. And there's the romance scene. He wakes up, she's not there, but she's there. And there's jokes about one more time. So that's where that is before. I thought this weird, they don't hug thing, this weird Air 5 thing was strange. But I will say there was a line about, because it's always about, do I tell you you're a good shot or something like that? Or I tell you you're smart. She's like, oh, not enough. This time she says, they would tell you that you're a good friend. And he says, not enough. That actually kind of redeemed the other joke for me, because the other joke kind of got a little cringy for me because it just kept going with how great she is. So I like the fact that it went the other direction for the finale. And then also, yeah, there was a promise about he had to spend money on himself. He came back with a toothbrush. So he bought a like $1,000 1-year pass to drive on a bus, so he could just go anywhere, whenever, for a whole year, whatever. And I'm like, dude, for $1,000, just buy the freaking bus pass. That's how you live. Then, first off, I didn't even know they would only cost $1,000. That's crazy. So, yeah, that's how it wraps up. It was really, really a great show. There was lots of great moments in action. The finale did not disappoint for me. Had a pretty good resolution on everything. Reacher still got to be who Reacher is. And just really enjoyed the show. And I love hearing from you guys. You guys have had a lot of great comments along the way. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episodic rewatch with me. I didn't really do season 1. I kind of regret that because I'm a little late to the game. But I can tell you what, I'm not sleeping on this show next time. We'll be doing this again. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you're having a great day. Take care, everybody. I am Pops.